Hi everyone, my name is Jeanette Ramos and I'm the founder and CEO of It Takes a Village Housing. It Takes a Village Housing is a nonprofit organization geared towards helping mothers get the services that they need to raise their children. It's going to provide not only drug treatment services for our mothers, but mentors for our children, home economics for our mothers. This is going to be a one-stop shop that's going to provide for our families. Drugs and alcohol seem to be a big part of our society, and how we eradicate that will be based upon what we do for this population. We're always looking for donations. Help us out with those donations. Anything that you can give would be a great help. We're always looking for beds, we're looking for toiletries, we're looking for money, and anything that you can provide us would be of great help. So if you're willing to provide this population with a second chance at life, check out my website at ittakesavillage1.org, or you can email me at ittakesavillage@gmail.com. Here's to It Takes a Village Housing, and I look forward to meeting with each and every one of you.
You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Thank you for joining me, the Oracle of Apollo, your hostess, Dominique Rivera, and you are watching Divine Encounters. And you guys know it's Wednesday night. I'm glad to be back. Lord, I have been everywhere. And you guys are probably like, Oracle, when are you going to stop moving? Never, never. Because the more I move, the more information I gather, the more soul codes I retrieve, and the more I can pour back into all of you. And today is going to be no different. Today, I have a co-guest with me today who shared on an experience that I went on this week as we went to venture into the power of we in Chicago, Illinois. And before we get into anything, I invite you to have your high-quality H2O with you, because watching this show is not a passive viewing experience, but one where you're going to engage and shift your energy and raise your vibrational state by the end of this feed. So to your health, wealth, and prosperity. I see you drinking that high quality H2O back there, Dano. Hello, everybody. Hello, Christopher. Hello, Sherry McQueen. Hello, Miss Jeanette. And everybody else out there. Hello, Jane. Hello, Renata. And welcome to the show, Dano. So excited to be here. And just letting you guys know, if you enjoy this kind of content, this high vibe energy, make sure that you are following, liking, and subscribing, as I'm live streaming every Sunday and Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you don't get enough of me, make sure you check out my Facebook group, The Seekers Challenge Room, where you can manifest adventures in your own backyard. And I'm here all about embodying the energy of empowerment. Also, my website is now active, oracleofapollo.com. You can get in touch with me there, become a coachee, get an energy session with me, or a reading with me as well. And finally, don't forget that if you are a meditator, the same way I'm a meditator, you can join my free group, and that's going to be at meetup.com/awakened Philadelphia. And here I have monthly free meditations that you guys can participate in. Let me just make sure that it's spelled correctly. Here we go. That you guys can participate in, and the violet flame mantras that will help alleviate karmic density within us, as well as facilitate transmutation. And this morning, if you like to talk all things healing, we got real sciencey this morning, because usually I take a more playful approach to the topics that we bring on the show, because that's just my natural state of being. But this morning we got real serious on the Whole Living Show with Tracy Randolph, and we talked all about entrapment of the cellular memory, and we got all the science out there so that you guys can see this is way beyond woo-woo, and it's in the quantum field. So make sure you check that out here on E360 TV. I also posted the episode on my The Oracle of Apollo page here on Facebook as well as on my Facebook wall. So yes, fantastic. And if you have had a divine experience, make sure you're emailing me at divineencounters@e360tv.com. If your story is inspiring and supernatural or miraculous, I want to know about it, and I'll bring you on the show and we can share it with our audience. Yay, super excited. Yes, please go watch it later and check it out for sure. All right, we're going to bring my guests on the show. And so give some hearts and a warm welcome to someone who's already been here a million times and probably will be on here a million times more, my little bro, and hashtag my partner in vibrational drip. Hey, Dano. Let's go.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go into frame.
That's on you. Oh, wait. We're not doing the long view. We're doing it.
Thank you for being here, little bro. So I see that you had an encounter with the grizzly bear or something right there on your face. You want to share what that was about?
Yeah, so you already know what I do in my spare time as a volunteer firefighter. You know, I was up 18 stories going to rescue a kitty that was stuck in the room. Oh, there we go.
Oh, my bad. Wrong opener. Sorry, go ahead.
That
wasn't for you.
See, you know what? You got me excited. No, what really happened was, that was just a funny story I'd like to share. I was playing back. You know what? We're going to be doing this all day?
Yes, we are.
For a show today. You guys are in for a show. I was just playing basketball and I got scratched on my face.
Oh wow! You just killed the whole story with the 18 floors and volunteer firefighter. I mean, you're always giving, so I wouldn't pass it by you that you were a volunteer firefighter.
Well, you know what? Just how you killed mine going in and out, I had to give it right back to you. Had to go straight to the jugular.
Well, you know, this is not your show today. Today, I get to click all the buttons.
You're right. Let me be careful about what I say.
Let people know at home, Dano, a little bit about you, what you do, yeah?
Yeah, you got it. So my name is Dano, everybody. I'm the television show host of Weekly Dose of Dano TV on the E360 television network. I'm also an associate producer with the E360 television network. And I'm a content creator as well. As you guys already know, I was with Oracle basically all last week. And, you know, I was one of the co-MCs at the Power of We event. And there's just so many things that I like to do, but always at the forefront of everything. I always love to give back to the community, inner cities, because that's where I'm from. I'm 25 years old, a Latino, Puerto Rican male. Same thing, Latino. You know, that's redundant. But anyway, I just always love to give back. And my goal right now is to find what's next for me, because the Power of We event was absolutely amazing. And it took so many months to prep for that. And now I'm just trying to find what is next.
Oh, you were at her mercy. Christopher's correct. Now, Christopher definitely beat me in ping pong. I just want to say I was busy decorating the ambiance of spin at the Power of We, but Christopher definitely had me. And Sherry McQueen, she can attest to that. So I got to meet some of the fans and some of the big players here on E360. So I'm so grateful to have met everybody who came out. What were you saying over there? What were you saying?
For some reason, I think somebody else beat you in ping pong too. Would you like to share that with the crowd?
No, we have some other things we have to discuss on this show because there's a timeline.
Okay.
So to that, I say, what's good? Okay, so here we have the card of the day. This is what's good, everybody. This is the collective energy message for the rest of your week. And tonight, we have the Night of Inspiration. So here's the message for this evening. The Night of Inspiration heralds the following message. Magnetic symphony, fireworks and flying flames. This night of inspiration is always seeking the thrill of it all, the joy, the happy tears, the adrenaline. She gallops towards adventure and the path that is most exhilarating. I like this card so far already. It's all I got to say about that. She listens to the pitter patter of the rain and call of the wind, the grains of sand under her steps, and she shakes her wild mane and roars against a giant flame to life. All the elements are wonderful, she muses, but I wouldn't give up this flaming inspiration for the world, this fire, this passion and purpose, this love that ignites the skies and sets my symphony on fire. With enthusiasm and passion, she charges ahead, determined and somewhat wildly, as she invites you to run with her and to be ready to change for the world. Here's the poem. And there in the darkness, the tiniest spark, and I knew I could nurture this flame. And there in the heart of the womb and the art was a muse who was breathing my name. Wow. How do you feel about that, Dano?
I loved it. You know, the part that spoke out to me the most is when you said that she listens to the pitter patter of the rain. And I feel like that's being totally in the moment, which a lot of people don't do. We're always thinking about what's next or what's 5 minutes down the line. Shout out to Chris as well. He's an amazing man.
Shout out. Bang, bang.
You know, it's just when you start to be totally in that moment, that's when you're able to recognize the signs that are always being thrown, in your direction to see about what's next or what you need to do or what the lesson or blessing is.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And here's some key words for those of you for this message. And the key words were spontaneous creations, inspirations, taking a risk, charging ahead, following your dream, fast output, action, enthusiasm, galloping pulse that gets things done, impulsiveness, and haste. And I feel like this really spoke to me because I have been really working with the energy of fire. So this was like really hitting home for me, fanning my fires of passion and my purpose. And I know me and Dano had a conversation while we were at Lauren's house when he asked about purpose. And I said, I couldn't not do it even if I wanted to. I so intrinsically programmed inside of me to chase purpose, to be in purpose, that it's like breathing to me at this point. And there's nothing else that matters. This will always be the goal to strive for. So everything else can fall to the wayside. I will change, I will move, I will lift, I will endure as long as I continue to fan my flames of purpose.
We talked about that?
Huh?
We talked about that at the house?
Yeah, we did talk about that at the house.
No, yeah, I'm just messing with you. See, look, you better get ready. You got to be on your A game. We got to give the people a show.
Remind me why I invited you again. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. So, Dano, this is the time that we're going to do our 1 minute energy clearing. Hey, Robert. Thanks for being here. Yes, that energy surrounding you now. I love it. Go ahead and claim that energy. Thank you for that. So we're going to do a 1 minute energy clearing. And for those of you who are new, welcome to Divine Encounters, where we are going to give you a smorgasbord of lots of little different things that you can try at home. So that way you can start stepping into this intuitive lifestyle, one step at a time, of course. So I'd like to introduce you all to a mindfulness moment. So we're going to use those key words that we just learned about fanning our passionate flames. And we're going to breathe life into that. So Dano, are you ready? And are you guys ready at home?
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right. So how we're going to get ready for this is in the comment section below, everyone. Go ahead and drop from 1 to 10. Where are you at energetically? 1 being this is the least amount of energy I could hold or possess. 10, this is the most amount of energy I could hold or possess. And drop that in the comment section below now. All right, and it's important for us to know where we start, so that way when we shift, we can recognize how much we shifted. Let's see. Robert is at a 1 today, so this is the number that we definitely want to shift because that's the lowest number. Christopher said 3. Last week took a lot out of me. I'm still feeling that today too. I rested a lot today. I think I did like 4 meditations today and an energy clearing, and I took a nap. So just, it's not just you. Sherry McQueen, she's at an 8. That's a great number. Shima, she is at a 6. And Jeanette is at a 7. All right. So we're going to put 60 seconds on the clock here. And all you have to do at home is make sure that your spine is straight. Even if you're laying, you don't want to just be in a seat. You want to have a straight spine. If you're sitting, feet flat on the floor, palms face up on your lap, because this is the receptivity position. We're going to put 60 seconds on the clock. Go ahead, close your eyes. You don't need to see me anymore. And just follow the sound of my voice, which will begin after the bell. And breathe in and close your eyes. Okay, beautiful breath in now. Nice deep breath. Feel your full belly expansion. Breathe very deeply into that. Don't worry about if you're making a sound. And as you exhale, you're going to release all that no longer serves you. On your next natural inward breath, I want you to breathe in spontaneity, creation, and inspiration, and just feel where the breath leads you to in the body. There's no need to think about where it's going. There is no right or wrong. It is just an invitation, inviting this energy of fast output, enthusiasm and action, and impulsiveness to get things done. Breathing in that energy and exhaling what no longer serves you, old programming and beliefs. And then one more breath now, we're going to go ahead and breathe the energy of gratitude as if it all came to fruition and worked out exactly as it should. Exhale and just have that grateful space. And you're going to bring your left hand and your right hand, their palms are going to touch right in front of your heart space. And you're going to go ahead and bow to your practice. And then when you're ready, gently open your eyes and come back to the here and the now. And as you're coming back into the here and now, go ahead in the comment section below, post where are you at energetically now, from 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the most. And if you felt anything, it could have been hot, cold, tingling, tension, pain, burping, crying, just anything that happened in your body in that moment. You saw colors, you had memories, your emotions change. Put that in the comment section below now and let me know what shifted for you. And little bro, how are you feeling right now? And did you feel anything?
Yeah, so I started out at a 6 because, that event or the symposium last week took a lot out of me. Helping the organizing, actually going through it, and then, all the fun that we had at the weekend, being at the airport again. So I started all those things. I started at a 6 and now I'm at an 8.
Oh, good. So you jumped up 2 points in 1 minute. And did you feel anything while you were receiving?
Yeah, so I got like really, really, really hot, and I'm pretty sure it's not the lights because I've been doing this for about 3 seasons, and the lights usually never bother me. So I got a lot of heat coming in.
Okay, wonderful. For me, did I even say what I started off with?
I don't think so.
I'm at like a 8.6, but pretty much today I was like at a 3 all day. The event really took a lot out of me too. Plus, I went from like South Carolina to Texas to Florida to Chicago. And so, yeah, I'm a little bit like on the lower end, but here we go. You guys at home, Shima says that she was definitely at a 1 yesterday.
Mhm.
So she is raising her energy. She went to an 8. So she jumped up a lot. Flutters in my heart during the exhale. Beautiful. So those flutters are heart space expansion, electricity flowing more closely or more inside of you. And Shima also got hands tingling. And then tingling is activations. So the opening, and the hands are how we welcome things in, the receiving. We get so caught up in giving that sometimes we forget to receive. We have here Sherry McQueen. She's at a 9 now. She got hot hands and tingling. Good job, Sherry McQueen. And then let's see, we have Miss Renata. She was starting at a 6. I'm not sure where she's at in this moment, but she did start at a 6. And so did Shima. Shima also started at a 6, so she jumped a few points up. Renata's at an 8 now. Good job, Renata. And Christopher says he's less tense now, a little bit lighter within, maybe a 4 or 5 now, which is amazing. That shows you how much you can shift your own mindset, your own energy. You can recalibrate in 1 minute. And this is why we do this on Divine Encounters. to show you how quickly you can command presence back into your own body. And Christopher said, I had to pick up some stuff from where I used to live and drove all the way back to Utah. Did take time to sit and enjoy the scenery in southern Wyoming, though, hence why I started with 3 instead of a 1. Roger that. Good for you, Christopher. All right. So we are here to promise you a supernatural story time. And we're going to be jumping right into that right after this little quick commercial from our sponsor, Intention Pen. And we're back. Thank you for being here with me. Your host is Dominique Rivera, the Oracle of Apollo. And you can subscribe to anything that I do at the Oracle of Apollo, pretty much everywhere, anywhere. I'm bringing you inspirational content, expanding your perspective, bringing energy right directly to you so that way you can expand your empathic abilities, all while we build the energy of the collective. All right. So we're going to be jumping right into our story, Dano, the power of we. You want to share a little bit what the actual event was?
Yeah,
Since you were the MC.
Yeah, so what we did was we brought about 300 kids from the Chicago area out of school for the day, just to give them, self-empowering talks. We had world-renowned speakers come from all over different parts of the globe to come and help these kids understand that they are not a product of their environment and that they can really achieve anything that they want, whether it's, certain career goals, whether it's family goals, anything like that, just to spend the day with them, just to say, hey, you have a support system. There are people around the world that care about you, and you're not going to go through this fight alone.
Perfectly said. And yes, so as we did this symposium, it's interesting what happened behind the scenes. So this is what we're actually going to be talking about. A lot of other people from the same network went to this event. So you're going to cross, if you're watching the other shows, you're going to cross hear the stories. But this is the only show where you're going to get the real deal from behind the scenes and all the juicy that happened that nobody else saw, but me and Dano were privy to.
There's so many things I could talk about this for 5 hours.
I know, but we only got like 18 minutes, so we're gonna speed it up.
All right, let's do it.
So this morning, as I was talking to Tracy, so you didn't know this, Dano, and so the audience also doesn't know this. I was talking to Tracy because we were on her show, the Whole Living Show, and she was like, "Did you go up into the apartment above the mansion?" So my question is, did you go up there?
Yes, I did go up there.
Okay, because she definitely said that when she went up there, she felt people that were up there. Did you feel that when you went up there?
No, not that I think about it. I saw the two with it, like the mannequins without heads, but no, I didn't feel anybody.
Well, she said she felt a whole bunch of energy up there and that she felt people up there. I didn't go up there at all. I just didn't make my way up there. And I thought the Stan Mansion was like energetically like depleted. So I was actually quite surprised that there weren't like ghosts walking all around, especially since how old it was. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I just want to just bring that up. But let's talk about what happened at the dinner table or lunch table or breakfast table. Yeah. So the event had concluded, right? And we were sharing an Airbnb with Dano, Sherry McQueen, and Miss Jeanette. And so Sherry McQueen had left to her home state. And me, Dano, and Jeanette, yeah, he and Tracy rocked the house. Yes, they did. Me, Dano, and Jeanette, we all went to lunch because we were waiting for Lauren to finish what he was doing. We were supposed to meet him, but Spirit, as it does, had other plans for us. And so that 20-minute restaurant eating was 2 hours. And that's because as we walked in, there was like all of this energy vortex that opened up. So wait, before I get into it, I have to talk about what Lauren has said in the past, when two or more gather. Do you know the rest of that phrase, when two or more gather?
I do, but I don't want to botch it. When two or more come together, we fulfill the agreement of the collective. We fulfill something. Go ahead, say it. Say it for
No, I don't remember it. That's why I'm asking you. Do you remember it?
Oh yeah, it's when two or more come together, we fulfill the promise of. Man, he says it so many times too. My brain is just in a fog right now. Oh, Lauren, I hope you're not watching this right now. After this, blowing up my ear. So it's when two or more. I'm pretty sure anybody else watching might know. When two or more come together, we fulfill the promise.
Okay, I think everybody gets it. So we all have promised soul agreements, destiny, fated things that are on our path, right? So I have to explain to you what happens when two people come together. And in this case, it was actually Jeanette, so it was 3 of us. Mm-hmm. Okay, so because we were actively, a lot of energy just came in.
I was just about to say that.
Did you feel it too?
Yeah.
It just got me so high. I was about to say, Sherry McQueen, did you feel that? Wow. Okay. So while I can't even look. So while we were in the Stand Mansion, we were doing all these connectors to everybody. Basically, what is happening, there's like this supernova of energy that's kind of like above us that I can feel. And then all of our cords, all of our antennas are all going to that collective of love, understanding, wisdom, and soul growth, right? So when you're happy, Dano and audience, and I'm happy, when we're in a state of happiness, guess what you want to do? You want to make other people happy. You want them to feel what you're feeling. You want to give that to them. And that is because when you're in a state of happiness, you're actually releasing oxytocin in your body and nitro oxide in the body. So your heart chemicals, they start to expand, kind of like how your sexual organs expand with blood. When you're aroused, your heart becomes aroused. And these heart chemicals make your heart swell even more. So your immune system gets stronger. You actually strengthen your body. You start to feel better. You have more energy. Now, when you are in that alignment, that heart space alignment, where your mind, your logic, and your intuition, your heart are in coherence, that means in balance. What winds up happening when you're around other people who are in balance as well. I'm getting so excited. I'm like at an 11. When you're around those people who are also in that space as well, a person who doesn't feel the lack or separation or need or dependence within themselves, and they only want to share that heart coherence with you, we do something called constructive interference, okay? And that is between two people or more coming together in wholeness. That is when constructive interference comes in. When this constructive interference happens, we open a vortex of energy that allows information to pass through and fall into our soul coding, our soul DNA, to then program itself inside of our body, so that way we can recognize what is true about who we are. We become more of ourselves. Okay, so that's what is happening. So gratitude could come through here. Dreams could come through here. Promises can come through here. Purpose can come through here. So this all happens through this type of interference. So with that being said, I want to ask Dano to share, because I don't want to speak for him. I want you to share about this, because what's happening is when we opened that and had that interference, there was these synaptic connections that start to illuminate in our body. And these synaptic connections are basically like DNA within us that helps us keep these emotions regulated. And it's all about the love and joy energy that is stored in the body. So when we were sitting at that restaurant table, you, me, and your mom, I said, wow, the vortex of energy is opening. And then you guys kind of just kept eating because you weren't aware of it yet.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was gonna say.
And I'm just sitting there like this, like high out of my mind. And when I say high, I mean blissed out from the energy that I'm receiving, not high like I took something externally and made myself high.
Yeah, because I was going to say exactly what you said. You were just sitting there all quiet to yourself. Your hand was over your mouth. And I'm like, yo, you good? You said, yeah, I'm just processing everything. And I was like, all right, just stay over there. And I just kept housing my food because you already know how I love my food. And I was like, what are you feeling right now? Like, why are you, is there something that I'm missing? So literally maybe about a few minutes later, I would say 5 minutes, I look at you and I'm thinking that you're gonna look over, and in my head I'm thinking, oh snap, I feel exactly what you're feeling. But for you, I know that you were clearing, and then you started to cry, and you were just so appreciative, and you started rehearsing your speech for you know what, and I was like, damn. For me, my reaction was I was gonna like throw up my food.
Yeah, so for you, when the vortex opened and that connection occurred, that was your release. And it's coming from the solar plexus because you said I was about to throw up my food. The solar plexus being the space of our willpower, that is the seat of our power, is our stomach. That is how we take action in the world. But also, it is congested by stress and powerlessness. So, anytime that we feel like a victim or we're minimized to any capacity where our will cannot be asserted because we can't fly from it, we can't flee from it, we can't fight against it, what happens is that we have like a victimhood block that happens in the solar plex that doesn't allow us to take moves going further because now we have distrust within ourselves because of past experiences. So if you were energetically releasing, you were making space for what was about to come in for you.
Yeah, and that the thing that came in actually did come in that same moment, because I remember you the one who actually that pointed it out. I've never seen Mario Lopez, right? And for everybody that doesn't know, I get a lot of comparisons to him that I'm going to be doing the same stuff that he does, and I claim it because he's doing a lot of great things. But what happens is we were sitting eating, and the TV's behind me, so I can't see. It's maybe about 7 o'clock if you're looking at a clock. So you look up and you say, Dano, guess what? I go, what? He says, that's Mario Lopez right on TV. And he's doing kind of the similar work that we do with interviewing somebody. And I've never, ever, ever seen him in that capacity. When you think of him, you think of Saved by the Bell, or you think of, his ab workout for his little faja that he has, stuff like that. And I've never seen him in that capacity. And for that to be perfectly aligned, it was just an indicator of what's to come for us and, everybody at that table.
So that was a synchronicity is what you're talking about, because Mario Lopez is basically an archetype for Dano of what he strives to become. So you got like an instant confirmation. So now while I'm watching Dano across the table from me, his head just drops. It was like he went into a whole different dimension. Like he's talking to his mom, his hand comes out. Remember, your hand just came up and then you just went boom.
Yep.
And then you were gone. So tell us what happened when you dropped.
I just got a glimpse into the future, really, is the best way that I can describe it. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to host a New Year's Rockin' Eve. And I'm just going to say that out there for everybody, because when we come back to this moment, I'm going to always say, look, I always said it. But I bring that up because that's exactly what I saw. I saw myself in that moment. I saw myself looking at the camera and having everything that I really wanted. There's a specific house that I want, there's a specific car, and all these different things. But in that moment, I saw myself actually living out those dreams and those goals.
So what happened, from what it sounds like, was you were given a vision. And I know people hear me say, oh, I had a vision, and we think that it's when you're sleeping or you're meditating or you're dreaming. Like what we're talking about is we're having lunch. Okay. We're sitting in a public restaurant having lunch, and suddenly lights out. Dano drops. His head is down to his chest. He's receiving this information through this opening that is above us when the two or more are gathering in this state of interference, of that constructive interference. And you did say you saw some visual things. What were those visual things? Do you remember about the light and the wall and stuff?
Oh yeah. So what happens? All right. So this is the best way I can describe it. If you guys have ever seen American Ninja Warrior, there's a part in the maze or puzzle or challenge where they have to lift up the wall. They have to lift it up and climb underneath it. And with each wall, it just gets heavier and heavier. So the image that I got was, at the Power We event, what I envisioned was I opened up that wall and like a golden stream of light came through that wall. But I said, I wonder what would happen if I channeled divine power and energy into this same instance. And as soon as that happened, man, it just came over the wall and all around me. So I felt like I was in the middle of the sun. I felt like the sun was all around me and that anything was possible. And that, I just had infinite energy and I could literally do anything that I want. I was unstoppable.
I can't even. Your energy there, like the energy just came in for that is the sun for sure. And I just feel like I'm I can't even talk. I'm getting hit with wave after wave after wave of energy as we're talking. And this has been an on all day thing for me. So, yes, thank you for sharing that. So, he had a vision with information to give him hope, understanding, and what is being not just given to him. And you know what? We might go, well, Spirit, why don't you just give us this less poetically and more technical and tangible? Because everything in nature is a poem. Everything in nature is a poem. Everything in nature is created through beauty, not through logic. It's us, the human, who wants to have it exact through logic. Okay. So it will come cryptic and in a beautiful poem or a beautiful riddle for us to hashtag unstoppable. That's my word for this year, Chris. Unstoppable, man. I've been harping on this word all the beginning of the year, right? Right, Dan? I'm like, okay, I've been resilient for a long time. That's it. I'm becoming unstoppable this year. Nobody's stopping me. Now, let me jump into my story now that we have like 7 minutes left or something like that. So while he was feeling all of that, and I'm like this, I'm like in the air, like my eyes are glossed over.
That's accurate. Yeah. See,
yeah. Jeanette is eating, and she's probably, I love you, Mom. She was probably like, what the hell is going on between these two? Because from the external perspective, it was a lot. Hey, Angelo. It is powerful information, huh?
I can only imagine what the server was looking like while we were going through all of that, and she just came over like,
what are these people on right now? We're on energy. That's what we're on. So he comes back, he shares his vision. Now, finally, the downloads finish inside of me, and suddenly I just start to cry. And I don't mean like a beautiful sadness where there's like one tear and there's a little bit of I mean like I was full crying in the middle of the restaurant. I had a hat on, signature hat, and I dropped my head, and my hands were like this. Like, and I'm not even exaggerating. If I was holding this, it would have looked like that because my whole body was reverberating and shaking. There was so much electricity pouring in through me. I could feel the current going into the ground. And somatically in my physical body, all of my muscles were contracting and releasing because they were making space. Okay. The same way if you think about when you shiver, your body's trying to heat itself up. When this is happening energetically, it's to release all the suppression of suppressed trauma in the body so that way you can have space for what is to come. So the space was being made through the releasing of my tears. And what replaced it, because universe will always replace it, lest you leave it open, it becomes a junk drawer. Lest you leave it open, it becomes a junk drawer. I'm going to say that again. When that was in that space, this emotion filled into me through my crown, and it was the emotion of gratitude. It was so intrinsically entwined inside of me. It came with a vision, and that gratitude overpoured. And what I saw in that moment, in that split second, when I dropped myself to my heart, was I was walking on stage. And as I walked on stage, I could see the crowd. And as I'm looking out to the crowd, everybody's standing up and they're applauding. And as they're applauding, I could see the microphone in front of me. And this is not the first time I've had this vision. However, it is the first time that it was an emotionally connected to the vision and not just visual. Okay, does that make sense? And off screen, someone walks over and they're holding an Oscar. And they're handing me the Oscar. And what I'm doing at that moment, which is called a timeline jump because it's projected into the future and not from the past, which is deja vu. So we're projecting into the future. We're jumping into the future. Our consciousness is leaving our body to ascertain information from the Akashic records, which is the records of everything that has ever been and ever will be. And you timeline jump into that moment so that you can extract that information. They hand me off the Oscar, and I am giving my congratulation speech. I'm giving my gratitude speech in that moment, and I can feel the actual moment happening. I can feel the gratitude of everybody that has helped, the supportive players, the sponsors. I felt all of that inside me, and I could not stop crying from the overflow. And once I was able to kind of once that had poured into me so strongly where it didn't need to outpour anymore, I was so exhausted, kind of like when you go to the gym for so long and your body's like spaghetti. And I couldn't even move. I had walked to the bathroom after that like a toddler. I could barely even walk because my muscles had released so much so much trauma, so much trigger, that it was like new skin, newborn, new flesh, new muscle. And I accepted that gift of that Oscar. And so this is basically my testament right now here on Divine Encounters, that in my lifetime I will be a recipient of this, because I know for a fact I will be bringing content so heartfelt, so aligned, that is going to change and revolutionize the way we receive digital information. And that is my task for the planet Earth.
I trust me, I believe it, I see it, and you already know I'm going to be there every step of the way to help you out too. And even with all of that, there are so many other things you can talk about. The iguana story, right after we're walking on the way home, and you help heal the iguana. We could talk about when I went to go.
Go ahead, talk about the iguana, since you're the one that was the observer, and that was like my regular day to day.
Yeah, so as we're waddling home after 2 hours from the restaurant, not being able to walk, and we're just like, oh, I'm so tired, especially with the food too. We see an iguana in the window. So I'm like, oh, that's a pretty fake iguana right there. I hope somebody buys it. And you look at it, he goes, no, that's a real one. I said, what, are you serious? So I see the eyes start moving. He goes, well, I'm going to start giving this iguana Reiki. So I was like, oh, here we go again with the Reiki. So, and this stuff is true. It works. So we're walking, we stop, we look at the iguana through the window, and she goes, ah, and she starts putting her hands through the glass, not touching the iguana. And the iguana starts closing his eyes like he's about to go to sleep. And all of a sudden, he opens up his eyes real quick and throws up on the window. So there was like this liquid that came from his mouth. And I was like, what the heck? How is that even possible? So yeah, then the iguana was like real. You could see it in his face. He had like a really soft smile, and he was just so happy that you came over and released it for him. And
yeah. And animals, they are so sensitive to energy that when I go to a pet store or something, I always give the animals Reiki and they react. So there's like a release response that occurs within people, but it's funny when it's animals, especially when the observers, that's not something that they're used to. So I'm like, okay, watch the iguana release. And then like he received by closing his eyes, he got relaxed. And then 10 seconds later, he spews on the glass. And then as soon as I conclude the session with him, he just relaxed and his eyes closed. And you just saw him just really take a step back and just woosah.
Yeah. And then you could also say this story too about, remember when I told you, as you guys already know how our relationship or our dynamic is there's a lot of banter. We're always choosing violence and going at each other. You know about the time where I went upstairs to go meditate because I need to do that every day in order to function. So Oracle's all the way outside in the garage doing her thing, just enjoying the outside. And I'm all the way upstairs on the second story. So what happens is, long story short, I'm meditating and I send her love. So what we do is, the way that I envisioned it was our hearts were like together. There was like a ribbon of love. So she comes in, is about to walk to the kitchen while I'm sitting on the couch, automatically stops what she's doing on her route to the kitchen, comes back and gives me a huge hug. And I was like, why'd you do that? She goes, oh, I felt it. And yeah, so just there's been so many things that you could talk about that happened, this past week.
Yeah, and we do that often. I'll be like, yeah, you felt that, right? We start connecting with that. And the same thing when I was clearing the room with your mom. So everybody was in the room and I began to meditate in a crowded room because that's how I do. And no, I don't care. I'm going to meditate anywhere where I can. So I started clearing the room energetically. And then some things were happening on the external. So what was happening? Because I couldn't see. My eyes were closed. But what was that girl's name that was with Gabriel?
Imani.
I remember, this is the only thing I remember from that meditation. I was so deeply inside of it that Imani came in and she shared something that made her heart space bright and light up. And it forced my head to look at her. My eyes opened. I recognized her. My eyes rolled back into my head. And then I just came right back to center.
Yeah. I can't tell you exactly what it was because while you were doing that, I don't know what came over me, but I just went into that same state that you were, and I closed my eyes. I had them closed, and Lauren comes up to me. He goes, yo, I need you to help me take all the stuff downstairs. And my eyes are closed. I couldn't say one word. All I did was this. I was listening to him, and all I could do was this. Just give him the thumbs up. Like, I hear you, but I just can't talk right now.
Yeah, because I heart linked to everybody in the house at that moment to clear everything in the house and get everybody back, to a balanced state. But then I know your mom mentioned something about cold hands.
Yeah.
So you had your hands on her or something?
Yeah, so I said, hey, listen, like, because everybody was in the splash zone, so I just wanted to see if I could do it through like the physical side instead of the energetic side. So I said, hey, feel my hands. And she said they were absolutely ice cold.
And when I heard her say that, I laughed because that was the energy that was coming in the room. And you had already did the thing with Lauren, but I reached out to your mom and I touched her and she's like, oh my God, you're ice cold. I said, yeah, that is the validation of what you just felt with Dano.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah. So if you guys have questions, comments, or concerns about any of that, please let me know, because that's pretty much how I live my life every day. And if you're around me enough, you will experience the splash zone. So you are always welcome into my world as well. And I'm always happy to pour into all of you to teach you and develop you. And don't forget oracleofapollo.com. So with all that being said, throw your comments in the comment section below. And speaking of questions, Dano's about to get hit with a hard one. Let's go. All right. Thank you for that. And hearts to Jeanette. All right. So here's the question for not just Dano, but for the collective, because like I said before, if you play full out on this show, you're going to learn something about yourself and shift your energy. So here is the question for today. What kind of advice on life would my old self give to my current self?
So the answer for the first thing that I can think of is don't listen to what anybody says. If somebody has a certain, appearance of you, or they think that they have a certain perspective on you, who cares what other people think about you? And I remember this would happen a lot growing up. Like, I was always the kid that had a lot of energy, and I would always, make jokes and like just be very, very upbeat and happy. And I had a few people always say to me, yo, how middle schoolers are, they like to make jokes. They say, yo, you need to smoke some weed and calm down and relax. But in my head, I would always kind of listen to them, be like, maybe I should calm down. But with all of these people, and I can contribute that to today's state of mind, who cares what all of these other people think about you? Because there's a million people in the world, and every single person that you meet will have a different perspective on you. And you know that not all of them are going to be accurate. So what's the point of living to other people's standards? If they think that you're too energetic, or they think that you're too happy, or they think that you're too sad, who cares? Just live to your terms, because at the end of the day, you're going to be the only one that walks through your shoes. And I'm going to tell you this is one of my favorite phrases that I learned at a young age, is that misery loves company, man. If somebody's miserable, they're going to do everything that they can in order to bring you down to be at their low vibrational state. And there's also one more thing that I want to share with you too, is that I love this one. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. And if somebody's talking to you, or they're throwing words at you, or energy, all of that stuff really doesn't matter. Please just live to your own standards. And if you know something is true, follow your heart.
Oh, that was so perfectly said. Thank you so much for that. All right, so you guys go ahead and answer that question below. This is meant to be thought-provoking. It's meant to be difficult. It's meant for you to reflect. There is a purpose for that. Anytime that we sit and reflect within ourselves, we're bringing illumination to otherwise pre-programming that we may not have even recognized was hindering us until this point. And that is why we do these questions of the day. Okay, and I love this. Everyone tomorrow. Yes, go ahead with those golden nuggets. I'll leave that up there for a second more. All right, fantastic. And don't no shameless plug here. We share. All right, so you guys already know what time it is. We're coming to the top of the hour almost. So Dan, I'm going to pop you in the back room for just a moment. And what we're going to jump into is the midweek collective energy check-in. And this is basically just some beautiful guidance for the rest of your week. And so my second camera just died, so we're going to use my first camera. So let's go ahead and see what the energy is that is unfolding. All righty. So we're going to be starting off with the first card of the night. And we have the Ace of Air, new ideas and inspiration, seeing the truth in a situation and a challenging beginning. Okay, so sometimes when we're stepping out of a comfort zone, when we're stepping out of something that no longer serves us, the next step might feel wobbly. We might not feel so secure with the action steps that we're taking, and that is because we're using the past as a guide for the future. So with the Ace of Air, this is the Ace of Swords. These brilliant new ideas, these understandings, these epiphanies, these breakthroughs are coming through. They're closer than what you expect. So embrace them, allow them to teach you, allow them to guide you, because they're here to uplift you. And you might ask yourself, Oracle, but how do I know that that particular thought is the right thought for me? Does it bring you closer to love, or does it take you closer to fear? Okay. And if it's taking you closer to fear, ask yourself, what is this, a false fear, or is this a real fear? Like, is a lion about to come through and come eat me? Or is this something that I'm making up? Am I making up obstacles? Okay. And if you feel like at any point this can bring you closer to love, closer to your divine purpose, closer to your soul's journey, closer to knowing who you are and becoming a better person and pouring into yourself, then choose it. And that's how you will know. Okay. It's all in the feeling. It's in the feeling. Here's the animal for the midweek. Ooh, I love this animal. This animal we have is the bumblebee. Yes, stay focused on your positive self-talk. That's facts. We have the bumblebee, the pollinator. Without the bee, all of our vegetation would not exist because they are the predominant pollinator for us. Hard work is rewarded with responsibility and the sweetness that is shared. And this morning, was it this morning? This morning, I had a dream that honey had poured all over my negligee. It just poured all onto me. And I was happy and smiling about it. It fell off like a top shelf. And I was just like, wow, and there was like, there was just happiness. So there's a sweetness in honey. There's a truth in honey. And with this pollinator is basically showing you are doing something towards something that is greater than yourself, okay? Because the bee does not work alone. They work in unity. They work with other people, but ultimately it is for the collective. So continue to strive to do your work for the collective, and you will become even stronger in being of service to not just yourself, but to that which is greater than yourself. Ooh, hoo, hoo. We got Water Guardian. Connect to your emotions here. So ensuring that you are recognizing how you're feeling, the state of balance, being truthful and honest and tactful, and how you're feeling. Take time to connect with your emotions. Just like that bee takes time to sift through every single individual flower, not one is overlooked. Don't overlook any emotions here, because when we overlook something, we're suppressing. So that means we're not giving attention to those facets of ourselves that deserve attention. And that is how we fall out of homeostasis, out of alignment. So it's important to recognize even the feelings that don't feel that well, look at them lovingly and kindly, and then release them. We have the Morai, destiny. We were just talking about destiny. Destiny is this energy that these are the three sisters. One measures the thread, one cuts the thread, and one reads the thread. So these are the only ones ideally in Greek mythology that recognize what your purpose is, okay? She is pulling this thread out, giving you this much time. The one that reads it recognizes if you're on the right path, and the one who cuts it severs life. So ensuring that what you're doing is being of service for your highest and greatest good, allowing yourself to see through the illusions, tapping into your emotional state so that way you can be even more powerful and strengthen yourself, so that way you can follow your destiny, that which is going to make you the greatest version of yourself in this particular lifetime. And some people might say, well, if I don't get it right in this lifetime, there's another, but you won't be another you. You'll be someone else. You won't be this version of you. Choose love over fear. This is exactly the message that I was saying in the first card about that breakthrough. Does it bring you closer to love, or does it take you closer to fear? You have to choose love each time, because in that choosing of love, you're going to choose you, okay? You're going to choose greatness. You're going to choose alignment. And even if you're scared, you can say, okay, well, I'm moving and I feel fear. You could feel fear, but choose love. That means I am still directing my energy towards that particular outcome, even if I feel fear, all right? So those things, this is how they are different. Unleash your adventurous side, take risks, and be daring. We have Freya here, be bold. And when we started off our collective theme for the week, We had the night of inspiration telling the collective, take risk, because in the risk, in the boldness, there's going to be a prize, a reward. There is something beyond the mountain if you allow yourself to take the climb. The climb is difficult. The climb is stressful. The climb is arduous. The climb is lengthy. It might take your breath away, but it will be worth the effort. So be bold in your choosing, okay? And then finally here, we have the angel blessing. Ah ha ha ha. We have the angel faith. She's blessing the collective with freedom. This morning, Tracy asked me on the Whole Living Show, if you could choose one word to summarize the power of we for you, what was the word that you took away? And my word was freedom. That was my word that I took away from the power of we. Angel Celestina, the angel of creative expression, blessing the collective with prosperity. So the angel faith is the angel faith, and faith that freedom brings, or the freedom that faith brings. So make sure that you are claiming your angel blessings in the comment section below, because the angels always want to work with you and through you, but they respect your free will. So I'm going to claim that for myself, claiming it there in the bottom below. And anytime you hear that bell is the resonance of clearing any blockages so that your prayers can be heard. All right, let's bring up Dano. Dano, anything that comes up for you that's outstanding in this reading, and for you guys at home, if anything stood out from the midweek collective energy check-in, drop it in the comment section below.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's one of the things that I've been telling you about. There's a decision that I need to make, and I know that I need to make it, and I've been receiving countless signs, but that is just another sign just to add to the plethora that I already have. It's about doing what you know to be true in yourself and not having fear, Tracy actually told me this too. Faith requires action. So you can say that you have all the faith in the world, but if you decide not to take the action that you know you need to take, then how can you really say you trust in the higher power, you trust in yourself, because your actions don't really match that. So that's what that told me, is that I know the action that I need to take. So coming up over again.
So how come you don't take the power back from that action that you need to take and verbalize what it is exactly that you need to take action on?
Yeah, because as humans, we start to think of the stuff that can go wrong instead of the stuff that can go right. And I know what it is, and I told you this countless times, but I need to really remember the fact that once you release the things that don't serve you, you're just making more space for the things that do serve you to come in, and that's how you receive your blessings, opportunities, abundance, everything that falls in that positive realm.
Okay, but in that same statement, it's like saying, I don't want to say what it is exactly that I need to release because things can go wrong. So therefore, you're already in a place of predetermined programming. You're sitting in the past self instead of sitting in the potential of the future self by reclaiming your power.
Yeah. I feel that, but it's just, I got to shift my mind.
You think that other people could influence what's for you. When something is for you, it is always for you, and it is for no one else. No matter what they think, do, say, or pour towards you or send towards you, your alignment is your alignment, and you will always overcome it as long as you believe in it. But not even allowing yourself to give yourself the permission for the intonation of what you want to claim is sitting in those space of fear and the space of worry. So you're more strongly aligned to that, and your resistance towards change, and that's why it hasn't changed.
That makes sense. You're speaking the facts right now. I can't even deny it. And I know we always go back and forth, and I always have something to say that's witty, but this one, you're hitting the nail right on the head. There's nothing I can say.
And speaking of change, I will be posting tonight, or actually tomorrow, a GoFundMe, because I am trying to get to the World Economic Forum. The top 1% of people in power are going to be attending this. Is going to be talking about social issues, global issues. And if I can attend, I will be learning business strategies, which I will then give back all of this learning back to those who donate to my fund as a mastermind workshop when I return. So you guys know for the last 9 years, I've been healing self. Now Spirit wants me to learn how to heal finances. And if I can learn to heal finances, I can give that back to the collective. So that will be coming up. And if you want to know where you can pour into me, before I post that video for the World Economic Forum, which is happening the 17th to the 29th of this month, May, please message me and I will give you some links, or expect the video to be up tomorrow. All right. So thank you everybody for being here. I will see you live this Sunday night with all of your horoscopes and energy clearing, and well, maybe an adventure scene. I'm not sure yet. If not, we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll just have a question of the day. But thank you, everybody, so very much for all of your patience, all of your love, for holding space, for chiming in, sharing what you do and shifting your own energy. Every time we pour into our own selves, and that's what this show is about, it allows us to shift the collective. And that's why we are here as bumblebees, to shift that collective. May you all go forward and create divine experiences and go in love, light, and wisdom, to know thyself, to love thyself, and remember the divine always has your back. Ciao.
Everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels the most, just call me. Just call me.